Okay, cool. Great. So let's hope this works. Welcome, guys, to the 2813 live stream. This is for to meet our robotics team. We're the Gearheads, and we're based out of Prospect High School. You can kind of see at the bottom of the slide, these are our social media handles. We'll reference them a few times so that you guys can check us out. So next slide. All right, so over the duration of this presentation, if you have any questions, we really encourage you to type them into chat, and we'll get to answering them probably at the end of the presentation. So yeah, if any questions come up, slap them in. So let's do some introductions. So my name is Caleb. I am the president of the team, and I'm a junior.
Hello, everyone. I'm Hallie Chang. I'm a sophomore, and I'm the vice president on the team.
Hi, everyone. I'm Samra Srinath. I'm currently a junior, and I'm the treasurer of robotics this year.
Hi, everyone. My name is Gaurav. I am the secretary, and I am also a sophomore.
Hey, everyone. I'm Shamik. I'm the electrical lead, and I too am a sophomore.
Hey, everyone. I'm Pranesh. I'm the strategy lead, and I am also a sophomore.
Hi, I'm Ashton. I'm the fabrication lead, and I'm also a sophomore.
Hey guys, I'm Yuta Nakajima. I'm the design lead, and I'm a junior. I'm old.
Hi guys, I'm Clement. I'm the outreach lead, and I'm also a sophomore.
All right, so you guys might be wondering, like, what do we actually do? Like, what organization are we part of? And that organization is called FIRST. So it's got two different robotics things that we do. It's FIRST Robotics Competition, which is the one that we mainly do. And we also have FIRST Tech Challenge. So the difference really isn't that big. FIRST Tech Challenge is basically just like a smaller robot. And we'll be kind of showing it in the later in the presentation, our FTC bot. So FIRST Tech Challenge is FTC, FIRST Robotics Competition is FRC. And you can see here, a lot of people do it, like 679,000 students participated in the 2019 to 2020 season. And so there's a lot of, it's pretty big. So that'll come into play later as well. Yeah, so here's a little robot reveal that we made a little bit ago about our 2021 FTC robot. So that's FIRST Tech Challenge. So check it out. All right, yeah, so that's our little robot reveal. All right. Was I presenting this slide?
Me.
Cool.
All right. So competitions. So every year in FIRST, we get a new game that we need to build a robot for. In a normal game season, we play in 2 off-season competitions and 2 season competitions, and then championships if we qualify. Our best rank so far is 4th in 2019 in FRC. Next slide, please. So here are some examples of competitions. The top left is an off-season competition, and the top right is championships. It will probably look a bit different next year since we have COVID to consider, if it still lasts that long. But typically, there are a lot of people and a lot of robots. Don't worry if you're kind of scared of crowds. They're all really cool. They all want to learn together and play the game. This is also where the drive team comes into play, to drive the robot and actually play against other teams. They're super important because, what's the point of a good bot if no one drives it well? So lots of teamwork gets to get there, and competitions are really fun.
Yeah, so there's always a lot that goes into building a robot and doing robotics. So we organize our club accordingly to manage everything. And so we have 4 board members who basically manage the club, and that includes the president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer, as we mentioned before. And we also have some sub-team leads, which basically manage like, different aspects of building a robot. So for example, there's a hardware fabrication lead that manages, the fabrication aspect of the robot, electrical lead, design lead, software lead that manages, the software of the robot, and a whole lot of other leads that go into managing and doing robotics.
Yeah, so as you said in the last slide, our team is split into different sub-teams specializing in different aspects of building the robot. And one of them is hardware design, and which, if you can guess, is the team that designs the robot. What a surprise. Design is important because it decides what we're building before we actually build it, so that, yeah, we actually build something good. Um, to design it, we use software called CAD, which stands for Computer Aided Design. And yeah, you can see a picture of an example of what we might CAD out in the bottom right. That is a robot from a previous year.
Okay, hardware fabrication is another sub-team. We are in charge of facilitating the actual creation of the physical robot using instructions that come from hardware design. And we get to use a lot of cool power tools, and we teach a lot of skills that are important in life. And we also, it's very fun because we get to work together to make something greater than the individual parts.
And hardware electrical is another part of the actual building of the robot. So this team is in charge of all the wiring for the robot. So that means like connecting all the pneumatic parts and electrical parts. It's basically like making sure every part is functional and can transmit information. And this team is very practical because it applies to like working on Arduinos, designing custom boards and troubleshooting and a lot more stuff.
Okay, so the software lead wasn't able to make it today, so I'll be going over this. But basically, this is software. So this is what is responsible for making the robot do stuff. And in the last slide, we covered all the hardware stuff, and that basically is just a skeleton of the robot. So in order to make the robot do stuff, we have software. So basically, the code we write tells the robot what to do during a match, and this will include responding to driver input through a controller, making the robot move on its own, and many other things. So yeah, that's pretty much the role of software. And management is also a really important thing to do in the club. And this is mainly covered by the secretary. So for instance, we have a lot of accounts that we manage, such as G Suite. And for those of you who don't know, G Suite is basically just a combination of basically all the Google products like Google Calendar, Gmail, Google Drive. We have accounts on all of those, and we use those to coordinate and collaborate with each other. And it makes everything really easy to use because there's a lot of functions that are specifically made for those types of applications. And if you guys, if you know what Slack is, we also use that too. It's pretty much our main source of communication, and it's really suited for what we do at robotics because it's really suited for robotics. A lot of features are made specifically for collaborating in like an office workspace type of area. And also we secretary manages a lot of manual paperwork. So yeah, it's management.
Hi guys. So now we'll talk about the finance subteam. So with regards to finance, like how in the previous slide we discussed how like management plays like a integral part in robotics. Finance finance plays a pivotal role in how our team functions because the finance subteam handles anything money related. So this includes grants, check requests, purchase orders, reimbursements, and collecting funds. As we know, like robots are really expensive, okay? Ranging from either getting circuit boards, Arduinos, or even paying for competitions. There's a lot of very expensive matters that come into being a FIRST Robotics team. So it's the job of the finance team to properly allocate funds and properly develop a budget in order to like accommodate all of those things. But first I'll get into like the different sort of matters that the finance team handles. So grants are usually applications to certain organizations and companies that essentially sponsor a portion of our robotics proceedings. So we'll apply to many companies. I'll get into sponsors later, but we'll apply to many companies in order to get funds in order to adequately like perform in competitions next year. Check requests and reimbursements kind of go hand in hand. Reimbursements is essentially, most of our team purchases are usually made by the adults that support our team. We call them mentors. And they'll usually buy like the stuff necessary, because currently the team does not have a club credit card, but rather we allocate all our purchases to our mentors, and then they get their money back through reimbursements. So the finance team, which includes me, the treasurer, has to handle all of those check requests. And purchase orders are essentially like partitioning the budget. So we partition the budget in certain ways that allow for funds to be used for different things. And they're all encumbered, which means they're deducted from our current account balance. And so the next bullet point says, expenses usually include reimbursements, competition fees, but we also, so there's sort of like this dual nature. We have to spend a lot to be a functioning robotics team, but we also get a lot of money through grants, donations, and fundraisers. And so as an incoming freshman into the team, you'll work with me, the treasurer, to organize fundraisers, handle grants, and work with the team to create a budget as we interact with like the other board members, because robots are really expensive and we need to properly use our budget. Next slide, please. So this is just an example of the purchases that we had this year and the types of classifications. We have receipts, checks, adjustments, and there are a lot of transactions per year. So like even with this year, like being all virtual or anything, having no competitions, there's still a number of purchases that have to be made. And these are all allocated to the finance team to, sort them out, make sure all the checks are getting to the respective people. And it's a lot of work, but it's the finance team's job in order to ensure that all of these checks and all of these like finance matters are properly handled. Next slide. And so some notable sponsors. So as a robotics team, as I already said, we have companies and organizations that sponsor a portion of our like robotics budget. And some big names we have are Acosta, Google, Lockheed Martin, KLA, and Apple. Some very big names sponsoring Prospect Gearheads. So you could once you join, you could be a representative of one of these big companies, and all the more reason to join robotics. And it's just like, oh, okay. I was about to address that. It's like this dual-handed nature. Like, actually, you can go to the next slide. I'll talk about that. So these are a lot of check requests. This is the work that I have to handle, and yeah, it's not so fun. But what I really wanted to hammer in was that you don't specifically have to be a finance team. Like here at Prospect Robotics, we're like kind of very fluid in the way we like allocate members. So most of the people that are currently on the finance team aren't necessarily isolated to the finance team itself. They all have pivotal roles in other sub-teams. And so what I like to say is, for all the upcoming freshmen that are out there watching this live stream, you can join the finance sub-team, but still have pivotal roles in other sub-teams. And you're not necessarily isolated to either the business side or the STEM side. You can do it all. And that's like the fun part about robotics. You get to learn so many things by being part of so many sub-teams. Yeah.
All right, you said that perfectly. So Beza, our media lead, was not able to make it today, last minute. So I have some media experience, so I'll talk about the media sub-team. It's pretty fun. So basically the media, what we do is we manage the club's social media. So you can see it down there. We have the Instagram, we have the Twitter, we have the Facebook. We also have the team website that we have. So we like to post about different things that our team is doing, like for example, design, or maybe we'll post about our robot. We also do weekly bulletins, just kind of showing, again, like what is our team doing. There's a lot of people involved in FIRST that are curious to see what other teams are doing, but there's also people that aren't involved in FIRST, and we want to show them what cool stuff that we're doing in the robotics team. So stuff like that. We also have a robot reveal video where we reveal what our robot looks like, how it functions, and it's just a really cool thing to watch. We also, the media team takes photos of competitions and at events just to document these memories and post them. And And we also, again, as I said before, we have the website design. And yeah, we have a very wide social media strategy. Like we have a lot of handles. We have, again, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, website, and each of them has a different audience, a different purpose, and different visibility, longevity. So it's really important how we express ourselves with media team. So if you have an interest in media, 2013, we have that stuff. Can you get the next slide? And so here's an example of like what the media team would do. Like, you know, we have all these cool stuff, all these cool events that we're doing. We need people to take photos of them so that we can share it with the rest of the world. So that's an example of what the media team and what the media team does.
So what the outreach sub team does is we organize many different events to help promote STEM and also help the community. Like, for example, as you can see in that second picture, we have actually went to Westgate Mall for 2 or 3 years in promoting robotics to kids and FIRST, what we're about. And we also organize these monthly mentor career panels we have. We find career panelists of other teams for an FRC. And we also organize things like the Stanford Hospital fundraiser. And even this event was organized by the outreach team. We also coordinate making swag for events. Later today, you can email outreach@2813.com because we have lanyards that are coming soon. And if you want a lanyard with the 2813 logo on it, be sure to email. It'd be nice if one of you guys can put the email in the chat. And we work with other sub teams to announce their exclusive events. Like, for example, we delegate with the design team to figure out if the design's done, if the fabrication can start on the project, or we also delegate with the finance team to ask for reimbursements for certain events that we have asked for, like the funds.
Yep. Our awards leads could not make it today, so I will be talking about awards since I have a lot of experience in that. So our last business sub team is awards. Not all the winning happens on the field and with our bots. FIRST also recognizes other attributes on a team. So if you win an award, you can also get a ticket to championships and also a cool trophy or a banner, depending on the award. But people on the awards team will be tracking statistics of business and how we reach out to our community, our team values, our team events, and basically showing off what we do on the team to FIRST. So far we have won one award, and that was in FTC this year, which was really cool because we were actually a rookie team in FTC, which means it was our first year. And we got the Collins Aerospace Innovate Award for our creative design.
Strategy is really important in robotics, and a reason why is scouting. So the first type of scouting I'm going to go over is pit scouting, which happens at competitions. It's a chance for us to show off our robot, and we also get to look at the mechanisms and unique features of other robots. And the next type of scouting is match scouting, which is really important. So match scouting is what we do during the competitions. We focus on another robot and we take down information like how much it scores, if it's really good at scoring, for example, if it's really fast. And that's pretty much what we do as a team during the match. And we take that information down in the sheet you see on the right. And the reason why match scouting is so important is because of alliances. So alliances are teams of 3. So our team with 2 other teams play another alliance. And if our team does really good, we get to pick the bots on our alliance. So when we pick other bots, we want to make sure they're really good. So that's why match scouting is really important. And also strategy team is also in charge of in-game strategy, like offense and defense. So make sure to join strategy.
So coming in as a rookie this year, I had no experience. I had no clue what an Allen key was. I had even no clue what a socket wrench was. But as I started working more towards robotics, I learned more, especially through like our on-campus lab events. And it's okay if you have 0 experience. Every sub team will teach you everything you need to know. It's okay if you don't even know a single line of code, that because the software lead will teach you. And same applies for any other sub team. And there are weekly meetings for each of these sub teams. You can join any one you like. The preferred depends on which one you prefer. And we have a fun project in the off season that the rookies get to choose. And in this way, we want the rookies to have a fun time, really want to make what they like and make the most of their experience in robotics. So if you really like the aspect of just building and collaboration, then be sure to join robotics.
All right, I know we've talked about a lot of stuff on this team, but seriously, you're probably wondering, why should you join? So being on the FRC team can give you a variety of opportunities. FRC gives students an early exposure to STEM, which isn't really found in any other club. So if you want to pursue something in STEM in the future, it's best to start off early. We also have a lot of other skills to offer that are still important to learn on the team, like business and marketing. Additionally, being on a complex team with a lot of different sub-teams and skill sets, we learn a lot about teamwork and leadership here, which is super important for later in life. As Samrat said before, we also have a lot of sponsors that supply us with funds, but they also sometimes let us tour their facilities. In the past, we've gotten to tour Lockheed Martin and Acosta. Last year, I went to Acosta, and it's really cool to see the giant laser cutters and water jet cutters being used. It's like the fabrication team, but serious. On top of that all, FIRST offers up to $80 million in scholarships that can seriously help you out when you start considering colleges and future plans. And finally, we're just a huge friend group. A lot of us come into robotics not knowing each other at all, but after learning with each other, teaching each other, and just having fun building robots, we're all best friends.
So yeah, also to continue what Hallie was talking about is that we have a lot of fun on the robotics team. And so I said earlier how FIRST has teams in like all over the world, really, all over the US. Well, that includes schools nearby. So there's a team at Harker, there's a team at Notre Dame, there's a team at Westmont, and so all of those teams we've all interacted with and had fun with. The bottom left image, for example, that's one of our game nights where we invited other teams to come, and it was a blast. And we also do we do love our memes. We do love memes, as you can see. Simp, like it's so much fun. Robotics teams, it's yeah, it's a blast, honestly. All right, next slide. But also, like, there's also technical knowledge. So if you look in the left image, that's me as a freshman, and I'm the president now. So in 3 years, I've learned so much. It's actually really crazy. So that right image right there, that's your FTC bot, and like you might look at that and be like, what is going on in that thing? Uh, I'm able to make perfect sense of it, and so you can learn how to do that too. You can learn about all the technicals, whether it's software, whether it's hardware or fabrication, electrical, you name it. You can learn this stuff and know what's going on, and it's really cool.
In addition to the technical knowledge, you can also learn some very cool non-technical knowledge, such as you learn how to lead, delegate people. You can also learn how to make cool media graphics and also delegate with others with learning outreach skills. And you could also learn how to finance, how to do all these grants and POs. And you can also learn how to scout, like these analysis skills. And when these non-technical knowledge skills come together with the technical knowledge skills, you'll make the most out of your robotics experience, because it's really a taste of what the future is, kind of like a simulation of working at a company, and it's really fun.
All right, so this is the FTC bot. So this is First Tech Challenge. So I actually have the bot with me in my garage right now. So we'll go over a few slides about what the bot is, and then we can see it live and kind of demonstrate for you guys what a bot would look and function like, because bots are one of the coolest parts of the robotics team. So if you get a next slide.
So we chose to go with a pretty simple off-the-shelf drivetrain, just to keep the entire build relatively simple and use what we know works.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. You can just buy stuff like from a vendor. Sorry, Hallie, I kind of interrupted you, but
That's fine. Yeah, I'll just talk about the intake a little bit. So in this game, part of the challenge is to pick up these foam rings. They're about 6 inches in diameter, and you have to shoot them into a goal. So first we have to get them in the robot, and that's where the intake comes into play. So this is our intake design. Basically, you see those axles that a bunch of surgical tubing is knotted around. And basically, those will spin really fast, and that will eventually get the ring into the robot. So it's powered by one motor, and it runs at about 1,610 RPM. And you can see also on the back, there's 3D printed backplate, which is used to center the ring and just kind of guide it into the magazine.
By the way, this is what the ring looks like. You might be able to see on my camera. Not sure if you can. Wait, Hallie, can you mute? Perfect. So yeah, this should be spotlighted now. So this is what the ring looks like. Pretty cool. And yeah, we have to pick this up somehow. So that's how we do it. Thank you, Hallie. And then we have the magazine. So the robot's actually allowed to hold 3 rings at once. So we have to find a way to hold them, but we also have to find a way to shoot them. So we stack the rings up inside the robot. We have mechanisms to stack them up inside the robot. And I think I'll be able to demonstrate them in a little bit. If you don't understand a lot of this, that's totally okay, because it's very easy to learn this. And it's, as a part of the robotics team, you'll get to intimately know exactly how all of this works. But anyways, we have a flicker here that flicks the rings into the shooter. And then here's the shooter. So you can see on the left actually here, this used to be the magazine. And another cool thing about robotics is we like to improve on our previous designs. So we actually made a completely new robot in the middle of the season because we wanted to. It was fun. That's a cool thing that you can do with robotics too. And so, yeah, we have a giant plate that can move up and down. It's powered by a motor. And I'll show you guys how that one works too, because it's really fun. And then we have a shooter that's powered by 2 motors. And then there's a giant flywheel over there that makes it so the ring goes wee.
Okay. Well, another task we had to do was that we had to pick up this red upside down mushroom looking thing, pick it up, and then like toss it on another side of a wall somehow. And to do that, we made this claw thing attached to an arm. So basically the claw like kind of like grabs the handle part, and then like the arm spins to rotate it upwards. And then when you get to the wall, you can like put the arm down so that the mushroom ends up being on the other side. And yeah, that's how that one works.
So software wise, one of our robots function was actually to see. So we had to implement the robot's vision, and I'll kind of gloss over this because I don't want to get into the specifics because that it might end up being too complex. But essentially, there were a ton of targets that were scattered across the field, and the robot had to aim towards those and shoot those foam rings that Hallie mentioned before into those targets. So yeah, and the way that the robot did that was first it would detect the rings on the field. So at the beginning of the matches, some of the rings would be scattered on the field. The robot would be able to see that using some code that we wrote. And the more cool thing that the robot could do was auto aim. So you can imagine if the robot is anywhere on the field, it'll be able to automatically aim towards a target, and it does that using some more code and actually some math that we did. And this is done using this thing called an odometry auto aim. But yeah, essentially that's the software part, the big software part of a robot.
Yeah, so I think we can do the robot demo. We'll keep on this slide. But just to emphasize again that like these are some complicated terms. These you may not understand what they are, but if you join robotics, I can guarantee you that you'll be able to learn all of this stuff, and you'll be able to do all of this stuff. You'll be able to implement them, and it's really cool. So, yeah. Anyways, I think we can get to the robot demo. If you have any questions, please type them out in the live chat. And if you want to contact us, like you might be wondering, how do I join? If you want to join, I recommend you contact us at the social media handles or at interest@team2813.com. I think we're going to have a form in the chat as well. So I encourage you guys to fill that out, especially if you want one of these cool 3D printed gears. If you ask a question, and we will be happy to mail you one of these gears. It's really cool. And with that, let's do the robot demo. So I'm going to, if everyone else can turn off their cameras, that way the demos. All right, so cool. And then if we get to hey, all right, look at that. So this is our robot. As you can see, it is moving. Pretty chad. So few things that we can do, we can pick up rings. So this is kind of representing the intake. We go like that. And there we go. We have a ring in there now. Let's get another ring. Cool. So see, you might be able to see how the rings are stacked a little bit. We have 2 of them now. Oh, okay. And it's there. Now we have 3 rings. So, and then now if we wanted to go shoot them, let's go like over here. Oh, the robot broke. Yeah, something kind of annoying is that we're on a concrete garage floor right now, which is a little bit inconvenient because we used to have an FTC field. We ended up giving it away to another team because we wanted to donate it. So let's see if we can do this. Hey, there we go. All right. Go like that. Let's see if we can shoot them now. And there we go. That just shot 3 rings. So if we wanted to get 3 more, and just like that, we have 3 rings into the robot now. Okay, and then if we want to shoot them, oh, dude, I made it. Oops, I made the robot too close to the goal, so it deflected off. But you know, we can do it one more time just to kind of show you guys what this robot can do. And there we go. That's 3 rings. So now let's shoot them. And there we go, 3 into the goal. And then the other thing that this robot can do, because we can do more stuff than just that, is you see this arm thing right here? I'm making it go up and down right now. This thing can get the upside down shroom that Yuta was talking about and lift it up. So, and then we can drive around. Let's say we want to deliver it like over here. You can't see that. There we go, you guys can see that. Oh wait, we just put it back. And now we back up. And there we go. We've just moved the wobble around. And what that would do in the game is that would actually give us points. So you can see here, let's say we want to put it over here. And there we go. We just picked it up. So that's our mechanism. And the cool thing about the claw is that we don't have to be lined up perfectly. As long as that the top of the shroom is somewhere in between the length of this claw, we can pick it up just like that. And so it was really fun to develop this mechanism. It took a lot of prototyping as well. But once we got it, I mean, this thing works really, really well. It's beautiful. Just look at that. Yum. And there you go. And now we have a wobble. Oops. There you go. And then let's say, can you guys see that? Kind of. Let's get 3 more rings. So again, you know, ready to shoot them. Boom, boom, boom. 3 rings right in there. And yeah, I think that's concludes enough for the robot demo. If you guys join robotics, you'll be able to interact with the robot. You could even help fix the robot or change the robot. There's so much you can do. Possibilities are endless. So is the form in the description? Yes, it is. Wonderful. So yeah, I think we can probably wrap up the meeting. If you guys are interested in joining, fill out the form and we will definitely get back to you. As well, you can also contact us about our social media handles. And yeah, have a great day, everyone. Thank you guys for coming to watch this. So, yeah, Hallie, do you want to stop streaming?
Yep, just stop streaming.